Hello everyone, you're watching SM in Focus. I'm Rico Hizon and this is the Brand Ambassador Series. And we have a special guest, no other than Miss Universe Philippines 2023, Michelle Dee.
Hi everyone, hi. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here.
Great to have you on SM in Focus, the Brand Ambassador Series, Michelle. First question, how do you stay focused on your personal growth and development amidst, your busy schedule? You have so many hats.
Definitely. So I'm somebody that definitely wears so many hats, whether that's in business, being a creative, being an ambassador. I have a lot of responsibilities, and I think the best tip, or at least what I do, is I really value how I plan my life. Some people don't realize that I actually plan years ahead. And I
long-term planner.
Long-term goal setting. And then you break that down into actionable tasks that you can do every day so that, at the end of the year, you see the growth in your career. But planning is so important, and making sure that you choose the right partners to execute all of those little requirements to make sure that you have a full, sustainable life. That's so important.
And with your busy schedule and the many responsibilities that you have, how has Chinabank made managing your finances much easier?
Well, let's start with the fact that I've been a Chinabank account holder for most of my life. So that seamless transition into when I was still a student into now being an adult and I'm working and I have a full life. It's so important that when you have a financial partner, it also grows with you. It grows and adapts in your everyday requirements. Kasi syempre, when you're a kid, you just need savings. But when you start transitioning into college, when you start growing up, there's so many things that you have to fix for yourself to ensure that, that you're well planned out. And Chinabank has been that perfect partner for me because, again, like right now, the success of my career, it can't be successful until it's sustainable. And I have so many good financial advisors from Chinabank. I have good accounts that really set me up for my future. And that's
Can you share with us your first experience as a Chinabank?
My first experience, I remember, it was when I moved back from the US. So this was around 14 or 15. And my grandmother took me to Chinabank. And I opened, of course, a savings account and also a time deposit account. So a diamond account, if I remember correctly. And it was my first dose of, when you put a big chunk of money and you're not allowed to withdraw that at any given time. It taught me the value of saving also. And it's those little financial habits that you should have at a very young age that really prove successful when you go on with life.
And of course, as a role model for many Filipinos, Michelle, and with financial independence being such an important goal for many of our kababayans, what kind of advice would you give young people, maybe who started opening their savings account at a young age of 14 to 15, how to save for the future?
The thing is a lot of my supporters, a lot of people don't realize that I was very financially independent at such a young age. And my parents really gave me the freedom to make my own decisions and also make my own mistakes. But when you have a lot of things that you want in life, of course, you have to really plan that out and realize that, you have to work hard for the things that you want. I'm not somebody that likes asking for money. I like working hard for it. So the value of saving is so important. I learned how to save at least 60% of what I've earned when I was growing up. Of course, when you grow up, you have more responsibilities, but it's that habit. You have to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself. But of course, make sure that you know the different avenues in your life to segment those financial decisions. Like you have to save for things that you want, and you have to really prepare for things that you're going to need. So you have to value separate needs and wants.
But of course, apart from saving, we also have to invest.
Oh yeah.
How important is it to invest your savings and with the right financial advisor?
It really is important because when you talk about investing, of course you can invest in so many different categories, right?
And there are risks and rewards.
There are risks, of course, because sometimes you don't see the returns instantaneously. You have to set your short and long-term goals. And the most important thing in my books is really to diversify your portfolio. Don't just put all of your eggs into one basket. Make sure that you have different revenue streams. And that's so important, especially for me. I am a celebrity, I'm a public figure, I'm an entrepreneur. And it's so important that you have different revenue streams and profit channels to be able to sustain the lifestyle that you want.
And for a lot of our kababayans,
yes,
and like for example, during your time, or maybe even me, many decades ago, I would still like to go to the bank with my passbook, with the cash, and go over the counter and make that deposit personally.
Yes.
But now, over the past several
online
years,
banking
it's now online banking, digital banking, but a lot of them are still very hesitant.
I know.
Should we really cross over, or should we stay with the traditional ways of banking?
I honestly, as hard as the pandemic was for the whole world, I think it did show us the value of the internet and the technology nowadays. It kind of forced us to transition into a more digital-heavy lifestyle and the convenience that surrounds all of that. There are pros and cons with technology, but that's the importance of trusting in a reputable partner. For me, that's Chinabank. They've handled my finances since I was young. And of course, even in terms of like their stocks, they're amazing. Pro tip. Like I do have some Chinabank shares, and it's so important that when you invest again in like stocks or in your investment portfolio, that you're only investing in very reputable brands. And just going back into the digital world, it's so important that when you trust a platform or a payment gateway or anything financial, that it is the best. And of course, an institution that's focused on you.
So what would you say to a depositor who is still hesitant to cross over into digital banking?
Well, I think take baby steps. Of course, in the older generation, of course, they're not as tech savvy. There's a lot of complicated things, but also with the rise of tech innovation, there's also a risk, right? So I think the best way to transition is to just try it out first. Don't put all of your money until you have a good way to learn and go around the whole technology of it. But again, there's so many apps that make it easier for us, just like the Chinabank app that makes it so easy and seamless to just integrate it into your financial ecosystem.
Chinabank is one of the longest running and most trusted banks in the country, more than a century.
I know.
Michelle, what do you think sets them apart from other banking institutions?
You know, the track record itself can speak for itself. Chinabank has a very loyal customer base that has been with them since they opened. And that speaks for itself because they wouldn't stay with Chinabank if they weren't trustworthy, if their money wasn't safe and sound in whatever they invest in, whatever they put their finances in also. And it's really that acknowledgement of what Chinabank has to offer you. It's that relationship that they build with all of their clients. It's the fact that even if they're not heavy on marketing, people will choose Chinabank over other options as well. Because again, what's the most important part when you're talking about money? It's about the growth of your financial placement also and your financial standing in your life. And I think Chinabank's really the best partner.
And Chinabank is always focused on you.
Not focused on you and focused on your growth also.
I like that. So with this slogan of focus on you, what is next for Michelle Dee, and how are you staying focused on your journey ahead?
You know, since coming back from my whole Miss Universe journey, my life exploded in a very, very good way. So many great opportunities that have come my way. I have a lot of things that I'm announcing in the next few months also. With that, it's so important that you partner with people, you partner with institutions that are also focused on your growth, focused on my steps and making sure that they complement that growth. And that's the amazing part about this. That's the amazing part about Chinabank's slogan also being focused on you, because I know it's not just a one-way relationship. It's really a two-way street where both of us are helping each other reach our maximum potential. So Chinabank is ever evolving, ever growing, and I'm so excited for all the updates in the next few months.
Thank you so much for joining us on SM in Focus Brand
Thank you.
Ambassador Series. We have no less than Miss Universe Philippines 2023, Michelle Dee.